I'm the mother of both children. I'm the mother of four grown children, two girls and two boys, and my two houses.
Better this way or the other way? Don't know. Hmm. So, hello everyone. I was supposed to come in at 1. It's 1:01. I'm doing a live, and today I was going to be talking about from trauma to trusting, and talking about how I had to rethink a lot of things and re-trust, go to learn how to trust again after all the trauma that I had been through. So, guys, that's what I'm here today talking about. Welcome everyone into the live. Make sure you hit a thumbs up if you when you're coming in, and I'm going to see how many people that come into the live, and go from there. I'm just sitting here waiting to see who's coming in. Right, guys? So hope everybody's having a happy Friday. And I hope everything's going well for them. And I hope all the mothers had a great Mother's Day, because I know I had a great one. It was very enjoyable. And my kids were really a blessing to me with all the gifts and flowers and things they bought for me. My oldest daughter bought me this big, tall package with a little bit of everything in it. And I'm very thankful for that, because just to have your child to think about you in that type of way is very good. And so I'm just waiting for some people to come in. And if I don't get too many people to come in, then I'm just going to go off and try it again on next week. But I'm not giving up, because I need to get my watch hours, and I really want to come on and talk to a lot of people, or women or men, who've been through abuse or some type of trauma in their life. So that's why I'm here today. And just wanted to read this for 1 second. It says, trauma is deeply distressing or disturbing experience. Personal trauma, like the death of a child or physical injury. So when you know that when you're abused or have been abused, it's an injury, and so that's why I come on and want to talk about that, because for me it was trauma to actually go through some of the things I'm going through. And hello, son. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. So, guys, I'm just waiting for some more people to come in. But like I was saying, trauma is some of the things that you go through in life. They say like death or something like that, but I don't think it just has to be death. It's like things that happen to you that traumatize you or made you feel a different way that you didn't want to feel. So I'm here, and going to be talking about that today. I don't know if my little sister says she's supposed to be the moderator today. So, guys, I'll know in a little. But that's what I was coming on to talk about. Learning to trust after the trauma that I had went through in my life with my first husband, and the talking about the abuse, because I'm not ashamed of talking about the abuse, because I just feel like the more I talk about it, the more I can empower more people to know that they don't have to go through so much pain and have to stay in those relationships if they don't have to. So I'm really thanking God for that. Just to be able to come on and talk to people and let them know what I have been through, and let them know you don't have to go through that. There is a way out. And I have some people come on and they say, well, you shouldn't just tell people or say that you should just get out. But the only way I think I could have survived was to leave that relationship and move on with my life. Had I had stayed there, I might have been a statistics, or I may have been on the news. So that's how the trauma of the beatings that I went through with my husband was. I was not only physically abused, I was mentally abused, and I was abused through his words and the way he called me. I was every name in the book but Lynn. So, and I was just I wasn't important to him at first, to seek you and try to get with you. It was very important for him because I was from another state. I didn't know the type of person he was. I met him at the store because his dad owned the corner store that I used to go to around the corner from my mom's house when I first came to Pennsylvania. So I ended up getting a job there. And as I got the job there, we met, befriended each other, but I didn't know the lifestyle he was living. I knew nothing about him. And I knew what I know now, now we can do so much research and we can research what's going on. We can, get to a computer and we can figure out exactly what people are doing. You can put in a name now. And if you put in a name, you can find out some type of history of what people, have been doing in their life, and it'll come up. You get some information about what the person they are, and you can pay now and you can just figure out information on them. But for me, I didn't think of that because I had came out of Florida, because I was living in Florida. I was born and raised in Florida, and actually Riviera Beach, Florida. I was born and raised, and I spent most of my life there. So I had a high school sweetheart that I had already had my first daughter with, and I did not know. Yeah, I'm live. So yeah, I'm live. No, I'm live. Let me let her know because someone was trying to know. So I'm live now. I got people asking me, am I live? So I'm live now. So I was talking about um how, because I got people coming up, so I know I have to be live. So I was talking about how that I had a daughter from my um, high school sweetheart. We had dated for a while we were in school. We went to two proms together. My brother had introduced him to me because he felt like he would be a good fit for me. So, of course, I went ahead and started to date him. And we dated for a while. And then he ended up going off to college. And when he went off to college and came back, that's when I got pregnant, and I got pregnant with my first daughter, which was Portia. And once I got pregnant with her, after going through so much in that relationship with his mother and with him, and him not knowing what to do, I guess, and not being stand up for me uh, concerning his mom. So that's a whole nother thing. But that kind of tore me down and tore, and me having to raise my daughter by myself. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Thanks, Healthy G Mom, for coming. Yeah, I don't have too many people in the house, but I'm gonna just keep talking. But what I was talking about was, my abuse in my first marriage, and I was telling about how I had my first daughter when I was in high school. Well, I didn't have. I had my first daughter at 21 after I finished high school, and I had my first daughter from my high school sweetheart. So don't forget, guys, to thumbs up the live. um, I had my first daughter, and so with all that I had went through with that um, relationship, it tore me down and tore the core of me as being a woman and being a strong woman. Even though my mom had taught me how to be strong, but when you have a kid, you're raising that child, rearing that child by yourself. That person is in your life to help you with that child. So that's why, you know, I didn't know what to do when I went to Pennsylvania, met someone new, and was in that relationship. I didn't know because I had been broken, I had been torn down. I didn't have anyone to like build back, pour back into me. So I went from a bad relationship into a worse relationship. So when I moved there, like I was telling everyone, I did not know my daughter's dad, and I knew nothing about him. I didn't know his background. I didn't know he had a lot of issues until later when he started to abuse me. So I have a lot of people ask me, how were you able to trust once you went through all that? Well, if you go back to me saying I had a praying mother that kept me in prayer. So my mom, I went to Pennsylvania because my mom and dad separated for a small window. And me and my sister decided that one would go with my mom and one would stay. So I decided to go stay with my mom to help her because she had my little sister, and my other sister that's under me, directly under me, she decided to stay with my dad. So that's how we left it. We had a pact and we had a plan, and that's how we was going to get them back together. But long story short, I ended up meeting my first husband. When I met him, I knew nothing about him. I just met him at a corner store I was working at. His dad owned the corner store, and back then when I was up there, a lot of entrepreneurs were black people who were able to get corner stores. So that was a little different from me where I was from Florida. But that's how we met. And I didn't really know too much about his background. I learned a lot of things once I got into the relationship with him, but I didn't know he was abusive until I was already married to him. So talking about the abuse was, talking about abuse is not a problem for me. I tell anyone, some people say, well, if they hit you once, they'll hit you again. True. Trust, if they hit you once, they will hit you again. But the thing for me was, as I was going through the trauma and the abuse, that my husband would hit me. He would beat, literally fight me, beat me. I always say beat because I was kicked down. I had not one black eye, I had two black eyes. So, yeah, I had that. I had, we owned a business there because his dad was a store owner. So we had a store. We ended up opening up a corner store too. So, hey, Tay Weezy, thanks for coming. I also have Healthy G Mom in the house. Thanks for coming in. Okay, I really appreciate you. So, guys, I was talking about today. I'm talking about from trauma to trusting, because there is a piece in there that goes with it. And I was just explaining how I was going through the abuse with my first husband, and how you need to kind of get to know people before you go into a relationship. But because I came out of a relationship and it broke me a lot and broke me down, and I didn't feel good about the woman that I was and the woman that I am today. And so, and that whole piece of thinking thinking about that, I let my guard down and I began to talk to someone that I really didn't know anything about. And I think that as women or men, you need to find out some information about the person that you are dating. You need to know some family history. You need to know some background. And even if you can get in contact, even if you come in contact with the ex, listen to those women. They're not telling you things about that person because they're jealous of them. They're not jealous of you being with them. Trust me. They're telling you things to try to help you. Because a lot of women, they think that someone's trying to take their spouse away because, oh, they're saying this about them, they're saying that. You don't have to believe everything they say, but believe some of what they say. So for me, I was going through the abuse. I can remember the first time my husband hit me. I remember just like yesterday. And the first time he hit me, hello, Cherry B, thanks for coming. I really appreciate you coming out. My mod doesn't seem to be in, but yeah. So when the first time when he hit me, I can remember like it was yesterday. We were cleaning offices, and we had a store too. So what happened was we were cleaning the offices, but we applied for a bank. And I ended up, my background, this is when I should have got red flags. My background went straight through because I've never been in trouble, never been in any trouble or anything like that. So my background went through. He was so upset because the bank approved me to come in and work and clean, but he wasn't approved. That's when the red flag should have went up. Ooh, you should have knew something was going on. But me, being gullible, nice, Karen, I'm Lynn. And what I did was I didn't know. So I was walking out. He told me, what did you do? I was like, what did I do? I didn't do anything, And literally, guys, if you ever get hit and don't know it's coming, wow. It was like when he hit me so hard till he knocked me out. And when he knocked me out, it was like, whoa. I was laying there for a while and I had to get my composure back together. Because I don't know if anyone has never been hit so hard that you get knocked out. I was literally on the ground knocked out. But I didn't know what to do. I was so nervous. I was like, wait a minute, just what happened? And then when I got up, all of my one side was swollen. So, thank you, Healthy G Mom. I'm much better now. I'm in a better place. I just tell my story so that someone out there can hear and know that you don't have to take the things that you've taken. So when I got knocked out, That should have been say, hey, let it go, let it go. But no, I tried to make things work because that was my husband. I wanted to, I wanted to just after going through what I went through as a young woman, I wanted to, I really wanted a sense of family. I wanted to be in, be someone's wife. I was so wanting to be that. So, yeah, I went through it for about 3 years. I think my daughter was maybe 2 when I got out of it, but I did get out of it. And now I don't have a problem because I got into another marriage. And when my second husband went to abuse me the first time, it was done. So I knew I wasn't going to go through all that again. But what I was trying to explain to people, everyone, is that from trauma to trusting again is a very hard thing. You got to put in the work. You gotta put in the work. You gotta trust the process. Trust the process and know that things are gonna get better. And for me, I had to trust the process. I lost a lot. I walked away, left everything I had. But you know what, guys? That wasn't good. Hello, Urban Garden Chronicles. Thanks for coming in. I was doing just a chat and listening while gardening. Oh, wonderful. Thanks for listening. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to take care of me. So that is a lot of trauma, but trauma from trusting. You have to learn how to trust even after that, because I went through all that to say one thing. And when I talk to people, I'm able to say, regardless of what I went through, I really don't look like what I went through and the abuse for the whole 3 years. And then I got pregnant, had my daughter, and my mom wanted to come she wanted to come, and she had moved back to Florida. She wanted to come fly in to see me, and he wouldn't allow it. So, hello, Yari Lopez. Hey, babes. Yes, I'm in talking today about coming from trauma to trusting. And I was just talking about how I went through the real bad abuse in my first marriage, where I was really physically abused on a regular basis for about 3 years. And most people will say, well, why? Hello, Urban Garden Chronicles. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you guys for coming in. If you don't have anyone, guys, please don't forget to write their name down, because I'm still learning. My mod isn't here today. She hasn't come in. So I'm trying to work with doing that. And yes, I was just explaining, because a lot of people ask me now, how did you learn to trust after so much trauma? And I just believe that, and I know, because I trust, even though I give people the benefit of a doubt, regardless of what I went through. I'm not, if you look at me, I'm not what I went through. I'm having a 60th birthday coming, but I'm not what I went through. But learning how to trust after that, you really have to put in the work and get the help. And you can't hold on. And I try to tell people, hello, Luscious, how are you today? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you guys. And thank you, Healthy G Mom, for moderating for me, because my mod isn't here. And guys, I'm still learning. So thanks, everyone. But what I was telling you, is that you can trust after you have went through the trauma. I am a living proof, because I am now in a relationship where I don't have those issues. But I always tell people that I believe in my heart that if I had not went through the trauma that I went through, I couldn't be where I am today. So so I had to learn how to and it took me years to get myself back to being me. So that's why when you guys see me come on, I'm smiling and I'm happy, is because I went through a lot in a young age. But I always say that I thank God, because he made sure that my older days were better than my latter days were better than my beginning. Because my latter days, I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. I went through a lot to get here, but I learned to take care of self. And that's why I try to tell a lot of women or men who are out there, take care of yourself. You can't be a help to anyone if you don't help yourself first. Gardening is a blessing for me. Gardening, it was hard for me to get started, because I told you guys I did it last time with my mom. But it was so hard for me to get started because I was like stuck because I knew my mom and I had did so much together. So that was hard for me. But then I kept looking at Healthy G Mom's gardening, and I was like, gosh, I want to garden again, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I would look at her and see her gardening, and I was like, I gotta get started. So I bought a few things, and my spouse was like, you starting that again? I was like, yeah, but I'm going to do it a different way because where we live, I had a garden in Riviera Beach when I stayed in Riviera Beach, another part of Florida, but the garden did beautiful. But when I moved here, we have terrible, terrible, terrible ground where it's sand and stuff. It's bad here. So I did everything in grow bags. And I learned the grow bags from Healthy G Mom because she had all the little grow bags. She was like, hey, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I got to order those. So I finally ordered the grow bags and did that. But gardening has been a blessing. And let me get back on point. So guys, learning to trust and getting into another relationship was very hard for me. I gave myself time after my second husband and I broke up. I gave myself time to wind myself down and try to remember who I was before I ever had kids or before. Hello, amazing MNG. Thank you so much for coming in. I had to learn first to take care of myself. I decided that before I get into another relationship, I'm going to take this pencil and pad and I'm going to write down what I really want. And so that's kind of how I had to do it. I had to write down some things because I'm like, I'm not getting into another relationship because I've been abused in two. And I was abused in the first one, but I didn't realize it. And that's what dropped my self-esteem because I have better self-esteem. But at the time I was going through, I was being attacked. And a lot of people understand I was attacked by my first boyfriend's mom because of my personality. When you have good vibes, everybody can't deal with you having that good vibe. And I'm a happy-go-lucky person. And I just make sure I stay positive. And getting to this positive place was not easy for me because I saw a lot go on. And being able to trust someone was really, really hard for me. Because, guys, when I came home from my first marriage, I probably didn't go out the door. I probably didn't go outside for the first 2 months. My mom had to literally go and get everything for me because I refused to go outside because I thought he was going to be out there. He was going to grab me. He was going to get me. You know, I thought he was going to be there. I thought if I looked around the corner, he was going to be there. You know, so that was a big thing for me. I was still scared. I still had the trauma inside of me. Happy Friday to everyone. Thank you, amazing M&G. She's saying happy Friday to everyone joining the live chat, my dear friend. I want you to all have a blessed weekend. Thanks. And you also have a blessed weekend. So guys, that's what it was. You know, I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know if I didn't even want, when I first went out and start going out, my mom would be with me and she was like, you're going to be okay. And people don't realize when you have been in an abusive relationship that long, it's hard for you to trust. It's hard for you to believe. It's hard for you to get past it. But a lot of people always ask me, well, how did you do it? Well, one day, my husband allowed me to call which I said aloud. He said, do you want to call some of your family and talk to them? So I called my sister under me. And when I called my sister, hello, Nina's Journey. How are you today? Thanks for coming in to the live. I really appreciate you. So I finally was able to use a payphone down from our store. He let me use the phone. And for some reason that day, my sister answered the phone. She was at my mom's house. And she was like, you all right? You don't sound good. But I never told them what was going on. And she said, you all right? You don't sound good. I said, no, I didn't. I know. I didn't speak. She asked me questions and I don't know how to. Hello, Lady Posh. Thank you for coming in. And Lady Posh is saying, hi, host and everyone. What happened was my sister was on the phone and she was like, are you okay? And I was like, mm-mm. This is where I would answer the phone and talk because I was so scared. So my little sister was on the phone. She was like, are you okay? And I was like, mm-mm. She said, you all right? I was like, mm-mm. And she said, you want to come home? And I was like, mm-hmm. And she said, are you serious? Because they never heard me say that. And I was like, I want to come home. And my little sister literally got off the phone and called. She got off the phone. She talked to my mom. And the way I got out of it was the next day my mom was in town. But my mom was in Pennsylvania because her brother lived there. My mom had lived in Pennsylvania. That's how I ended up in Pennsylvania. She lived there. And then, because if you guys in here, her and my dad had broke up. So one of my sisters went to live. I went to live with my mom, and my other sister stayed here to take care of my dad. My mom and dad did get back together. But then after that, I stayed in Pennsylvania because my husband was good at not making it look like I was abused. He would tell my mom, I take good care of her, I do this for her. He'd pretend around people, which that's what a narcissist usually does. But like I was saying, after coming out of all that trauma, and I had to rethink and relearn how to trust. So the next morning, my mom knocked on the door of the store. Well, she walked in the door of the store we owned. So she walked up this, hello, Crafty Leo. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you guys. So my mom walked in the next morning, and I was like, what? My mom had come to get me and my 2 kids. So long story short, he allowed me to go. My mom said, I want to take her shopping. And he said, oh, okay, I'll let her go shopping. Not knowing that once I go shopping, I was getting on a plane to get out of here. So hello, Michelle, how you doing? That's my sister-in-law. Hey, Michelle, thanks for coming. Hello, Braids by Sean. I appreciate you. And also, if I didn't say Crafty Leo, guys, don't forget to thumbs up the live. So I was just talking about everyone, if you're coming in, going from trauma to trusting. And letting everyone know that it was not easy. You have to put in the work. You have to get the help you need. And I had to get help to get me to where I am, to have the confidence I have now, because I did not have this all the time. I wasn't this confident, about myself. But I also have a spouse now that's amazing. When I say amazing, I mean amazing. And the thing about it is that the spouse I'm with now, we grew up together right across the street from each other when we were kids. Had I had known he was the one, I would have probably dated him then. But life brings about a change. Thanks a lot, Lady Posh TV, for coming in. I appreciate you. Also, guys, don't forget to thumbs up the live. But as I was saying, yes, I did finally found love. He is amazing. Hello, Frank G. Shorts. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. He is an amazing person. God put me with someone that took charge for me, because he is just an amazing person. He has a beautiful personality, and he just encourages me. And everything that I try to do, he just tells me, you can do this. And the other day I was I'm also on Facebook, so I be doing the shorts. And he was like, look at all these shorts coming up on my phone. He said, but I like all of them, and he helps me. He helps ground me. So when God put us together, we knew how to appreciate, because he had went through things in his past relationships. I went through things in my past relationship. So when we came together, we kind of understood. Now, at first it was a little different, but not different. I want to say it wasn't easy, but we had to learn, you learn how to not take things out on that person that you went through before. So to trust is the biggest issue for me, was trying to get back to where you trust. So my spouse, he's very supportive of what I do, but he wants to be in the background. He doesn't want to be in the forefront. So a lot of things you see in my home that I do, we assist things, we tackle things, mostly everything together. So if you see something, he's not going to come out and say he's helping me, but he helps me with just about everything. He gives me his ideas on decorating, because he's bad with the decorating like me. And he supports me in what I do. He just doesn't want to be on film, not yet. I was able to catch a picture of him, or one time I had him on a picture, and I recently put that up because he doesn't like to take pictures or anything like that. But I told him, I said, I love you, and I want people to know who you are and know that you're just a good person. And he has a good heart. And just like I tell people, this is the second home we've had together. We moved from Riviera Beach to Port St. Lucie, because that when we were looking, we were going to get another home, but when we were looking, we wanted a bigger home, but we didn't want to pay that big inflated price. But now that we're here, the prices of the homes has really shot up. As you know, our house is worth a lot more. But just like I said, guys, trusting was the biggest issue for me. Trying to trust again was very hard. And sometimes you'll find yourself not believing some things, but you got to make sure that you don't take out your past, what you went through in your past, to the person that you're with now. Because a lot of people, to me, they take out what they went through in their past on the spouse that they're with. I try to make sure that I think things over, rethink things. And coming into that relationship, I brought in 3 kids. So that was even, for a man to come into a relationship with you, knowing you have kids is a whole nother dynamic. You know what I mean? But he was great. He was good enough to know and help me raise those boys, which was the best thing for me. When he came into my life, it was a good time and everything. I gave myself like 3 years to relax, chill, get my mind right so I would be ready and I would be praying. And I keep a vision board. And on the vision board, it's so funny because my sister were like, this is a truck, because I had my vision board in front of me. And I don't know if I said hello, Crafty Leo. Leo, thanks for coming in. I keep a vision board. I even have one that I read every morning. But I have something up all the time so I can remember my affirmations, who I am and what I want to be and what I want to do. So guys, I had a lot of stuff on the board when we met. So when he finally came to my room, he was looking like, wow, yeah, I had a lot of things that you have to have some qualities that you want in the person that you're looking for. And a lot of people are like, you shouldn't do that. But I didn't judge them by that. But it just so happened all the things that I wanted in a man was on the vision board and the things I looked for. Thank you, Ian Plus Nature TV. Thanks so much. I appreciate you guys for coming in and helping me out. And thank you, Healthy G Mom, for moderating, because my moderator isn't here. But like I was telling everyone, Braids by Sean, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you if I didn't call you out early. Guys, if you don't have anyone, make sure you're connecting with the people in the chat so that you can really meet some great people. I like Healthy G Mom, Luscious, and Braids by Sean. I mean, everyone in here has just been amazing. And I thank you guys for coming and helping me out. I really appreciate everyone that's here. But like I was saying, you got to have some things you want and qualities you want in the next person that you're dealing with. But also, trusting was very hard for me. And because in the back of our mind, women always, like, some men think you're crazy, but some people think you're crazy when you say that, because some women usually always trying to plan out. And I had to get to a point that I stopped planning out if something happens, because by nature, my mind wanted to always say, this is what you're going to do if this happens. This is what you're going to do if this happens. But you have to get to a point where you just trust, believe, give that person a time to give that person yourself time to figure out that person, love on that person, understand what that person is going through. Because a lot of times, like when you come out of relationships, me and him talk now. We talk about what we went through in other relationships, because this relationship we've been together 13 years. So this is the longest relationship both of us has been in. So we always talk about that. And yes, Healthy G Mom, having a vision board is a great idea, and it's very powerful, because, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I have 2 things that I had on a vision board recently, and I would pray and go over these things every day. And if you look, I'm not going to show you exactly, I have it on paper here, but if you look at this vision board I have here, I can guarantee you I can check off. I've already checked off 2 major things that have been taken off my list that I was blessed to have done. Vision boards work. Affirmations work. Prayer works. I just believe that. And for the younger people, they may not believe in the prayer part, but they affirm things, which means they don't realize they're literally praying, but they're affirming what they believe in. And, they call, like my daughter, she doesn't realize that, my oldest daughter, you call those things that are not as though they were. So what you're doing is, when you write these things down and you saying them every day over and over and over and over, you're just setting yourself up to be blessed. So trusting for me was very hard. Okay, son, you gone? You're on my live. So trusting for me is my oldest son. But trusting for me, guys, it's a daily thing I have to work on because I trust my spouse, but because I had been in a relationship where you've been cheated on, you went through a lot of things, which is a whole nother story. But I'm just saying, hello, Steve Gilmore YouTube channel. Thanks for coming in. It's okay. Long as you coming in, you thumbing up the live. I'm gonna be on till about 3-ish, but I came in. So I mean, I want to come in and keep talking and explain to everyone how it was for me learning to trust again after being in having so much trauma, from trauma to being able to trust. And you have to really put in the work and be able to forgive. And that's another thing. You can't get past what you're going through if you don't forgive those who done what they done to you. You may not have to go to them and ask them to forgive you, but long as you know that you are forgiving the persons that have done you wrong, you're not dwelling on it. That's one thing about me. I'm not mad because my first husband beat me. I'm not mad because he treated me bad. I'm better because I said one thing: I forgive and I let go so that I can let God handle it and take care of it for me. It's not about being mad, staying mad. And if you don't let go of the trauma, you're going to keep reliving it. And that's what was happening to me. And I was reliving it, kept thinking, is this person going to do me this way? Is this person going to do what this one did to me? Yes, every relationship needs work, and it's a daily work. It doesn't happen, boom, overnight. No, everyone wants to portray on social media, oh, I got the best, I'm not going to. If you don't go through anything, how do you expect that relationship to work? Because it's a battle, because you're not going to always have the same like mind in everything that you do. I love, people who have that perfect relationship. God bless you and thank you. But I'm not there where I have a perfect relationship, but I'm working on it. I'm working to be better and know that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm learning daily how to do things in my relationship, and I'm getting older, so I want to be able to enjoy the rest of my life and trust. I trust the person I have. I don't have to worry. I don't really worry about, okay, what is he doing? Because my spouse works still in the West Palm Beach area, which is like 45 minutes away from where we live. You got to have some trust. You got to believe. But I want people to know, when God bless me, he'll bless me with someone amazing. He blessed me with a strong person. That's strong, a strong man. He blessed me with him because God knew exactly what I needed, because the people I thought were strong were not strong. Thank you. Yes, I know that I am blessed, and God has been a blessing to me. And I'm learning each and every day more and more to trust. But also in that trust piece, you got to remember one thing. You got to love on yourself. Love yourself. Self-love is the best love. I don't think there's no perfect. That's right. See, everybody wants to pretend like Frank G. Shorts. Everybody want to pretend like, oh, I got this perfect relationship. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship, because you're going to have some days when you're not going to agree. But you got to agree on some things, especially when it comes to things in your life. You want to come together. You want to spend time together. And please, if you have a spouse, guys, make sure you're taking out time for that spouse. I'm learning things as I get older. You got to take time out. You got to spend time with them, besides your kids, because for me, my biggest piece was my kids. I was trying to take care of my kids. And when you're in that relationship, you still going to have to take care of your kids, but you can't put everything above that relationship, So for me, nothing is ever perfect in life. True, but you got people on social media. I got it going on. I got this, I got that. I'm not that one. Everything you see me have, and when I talk about it, it's not because I'm bragging. I'm just letting you know how I came out of the bad and God brought me into the good. And yes, you have to love yourself. Yes, it won't work if you don't love yourself. So when you see me, everybody be like, you about the water, because I've learned something too. Water calms me. Water keeps me grounded. And another thing I do every morning, every morning I have to go for my walk. Or if I don't go for my walk, I can feel the difference in my vibes. And I'm a type of person, I can pick up kind of how people feel about me. So I don't need no negativity in my circle. And I would know if negativity is in that circle. So back to that part about the trusting part. You got to learn to trust. It's hard when you've been through so much, but I feel like if I can trust and believe, and I also, have a mind, a God like mind, because like I told you before, I don't know if you guys remember, my mom was a minister. So I have a God, I was taught to trust God. So I don't know nothing but to trust him. And I also know that I want to be an example because of what I went through in my life. I want to tell someone, guess what? I went from before I met my spouse, guys, I was on Section 8. I was getting food stamps. I was getting the child support very rarely. I was doing all that when I met my spouse. So I tell people it can be done. But look how God took me out and brought me to a different light. But on that vision board, I'm a homeowner. I had that certain car I liked. I had the things I wanted, the qualities and things I wanted in a man were on that board. Everything I thought I wanted on that board, I put on that board. And when my sister and them one day came around, and he had took me and bought me this car that I had on the vision board. And I'm going to explain that to you. He took and bought me the car that was on the vision board. So when my sisters, they always knew because I talked about this car for years. I was like, I'm going to get this car. I just want this particular car. I want this particular car. So one day he called me and said, hey, go out there, check out the car. A car is there. And, so I said, okay, I'm going to go out there. When I went out there, I wouldn't even drive the car, guys. I went out there, looked at the car, right? And I was like, he said to me when he came home, he said, did you check the car? And I was like, yeah, I went out there. He said, did you try the car? I was like, no, I didn't drive the car because I wasn't thinking about it like that. But lo and behold, he purchased the car for me. And he bought me the car. And when my sister came because I used to babysit back then, her son, when she turned the curve and came around to my house, she jumped out the car and was like, oh my God. She was like, you got it on your vision board. I said, I know. That's why I was so overwhelmed. And I was so blessed because once they saw me get things on that vision board, people were like, and I tell people, a vision board, write it down, keep it in front of you. And now while I'm sitting here now, I have my positive affirmations. I pray. Hello, IN Plus Nature TV. Oh, okay. And Healthy G-Mom, thanks so much for helping me out and doing my moderation. I really appreciate you. But guys, like I was telling you, coming from trauma to trust is not easy. You got to put in the work. You got to do what you need to do. And don't forget the vision boards. Don't forget to write down your affirmations. And don't forget to pray. Because for me, what's happening to me, my numbers go up, then they drop. So just a short story, guys, for today. Not going to say names, but I was really down about my channel and things like that. But I pray for my channel every day. And I pray for certain things. But God will send someone to you. God is just that awesome. I just believe that. God will send someone to you to bless you, to help you. And won't say any names, but God is awesome. When you think you think everything is done and you think you out of it, here God come to say, come on, I got you. That's how good my God is, the God that I serve. He is awesome. Because I was ready to just get out, let it go for a little while because it was starting to stress me a little bit. And I don't like to stress. I like to unwind. I like to be in my space. I like to be the quietness. I like to sit by the water. I like to just be, but just like Healthy G-Mom say, the power, I think the power of the tongue. When you trust God, he's sitting there looking at and saying, I got you. When you think you're walking around here, God is carrying you. He is definitely carrying you. It's not you. So when you saying, you meet someone and you're a little leery, but make sure you're learning people before you get into a relationship with them. Date before you get into a relationship. Get to know that person. Get to know if you can trust them with, just little things like things that are going on with your life, because sometimes you can speak to people and tell them what you're going through, and they'll take that and try to hurt you with it. So you got to be now. Nina's Journey, Urban Gardening Chronicles. You are, yes, I know, because sometimes we have to be careful because we want to voice things. We want to talk to people sometimes and tell them exactly like what's going on in our life. Like, okay, this going on. Because I know me, I be want to tell people, but I be like, oh no, I gotta pray. I gotta make sure I pray. I gotta make sure, I weigh things before I talk to certain people because everybody doesn't have your energy. Everybody don't understand you, and everybody won't understand you, and it's not for them to understand you. So that's what I know for a fact. And the power of the tongue, and knowing you have to trust and keep reaffirming, even when it don't look like it's gonna happen, it happens. Even though you think it's not gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But you gotta still push, keep pushing toward the mark. Know what you want, know your affirmation, know what you're saying, know the people you want in your circle, know the people that are looking out. Because there's a lot of people looking, but you don't even know what they're looking. It's a lot of people can help you, but they don't want to help you. You know what I mean? But God will send that special person to help you. And I just believe that in my heart. And I know that for a fact. And he will send people in your corner. He will send the right people that sometimes you don't understand why it's happening this way. I've lost a lot of people since my mom died. I've changed my whole circle because once my mom died, I was able to see who was really for me. When she passed, I saw the people that were there for me when she passed. I thought about all the family members that felt some type of way, and I kept saying, they feel like that, but my mama died. That was my mother. You know what I mean? My mother passed, not your mother, my mother. May have been your sister, but my mother. And it took me a while, but I know it was God because my mother had talked to me before she left to go spend time with my sister. She had talked to me. So I was like, okay, let me get it together. And I was like, I try to tell everyone, I was the one over everything. So I had to kind of issue everything out, and get everything together for her. But just like someone just said, the unseen hands that work for, oh my God, that is so true. People we don't see, you think they're in the background, but those unseen hands are the ones that's going to help you the most. People you don't see or think about, those are the ones who care about you. So just because someone's in your face don't mean they're your friend. I just have to have positive vibes around me because I'm a positive person. And my spouse always tells me I'm a forgiving person. No matter what people do, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you like this. I got some friends, around my neighborhood. I'm gonna tell you like this, guys. I love my friends, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. When you come to me, I'm gonna tell you, pray. I'm gonna tell you to stay positive, but pray. And if I lose friends because I say pray, I'm sorry. I'm just going to pray because that's all I know to pray. That's all I know to stay positive. That's all I know to have positive vibes. Because what the negativity doing for you? You're not getting anything by being negative. What you're gaining by being negative. But just think how many people you can touch if you be positive. Have a smile on your face. No matter what you're going through. So what? The smile. What's wrong with the smile? I do it all the time. I go to the store. Sometimes I'm going through whatever I'm going through. Remember, guys, I have a special needs child. I'm rearing. My daughter comes home some days and she was just chatty. And I'd be like, oh, let's let her get it out so I can get myself back to the vibe I want to have. So I let her speak and talk, and explain to me what's going on. But I tell her, hey, baby, I love you. But guess what? That's your circle of friends. Hello, Black Tropical Homestead. Thanks so much, Soil Sister. Thanks for coming in and visiting me. I was talking on trauma to trusting again. And I was just talking about how I was had a lot of trauma in my first marriage where I was, brutally, I was beaten. Even the whole 9 months I carried my second daughter. And I was telling how I came from that trauma and I have learned how to trust. I had to learn how to trust again. And I thank God for the spouse I have and how he has really grounded me and changed my life in a lot of different ways. And in a short period of time, I just I was saying, when I met my spouse. I was on food stamps. I was in public housing, which I was on housing. I was on Section 8. And hello, always Tam Tam. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you. But I tell people that didn't stop nothing. I got the help I needed to have at the time to be able to take care of my kids. And I did get off Section 8, and he eventually bought us a home. And I was in the Revere Beach area because you guys were in West Palm to buy some tropical stuff. So I some plants. So I knew exactly where you guys was. Um, you know, doing better with Mariah says, Jesus says we cannot add a single hour to our lives by worrying. Matthew 6 and 27. And ain't it interesting that worrying is proven to show? Yes, that's why I'm not worrying. Because when people say you're finna be 60, they look at me and go, I'm gonna be 60 in 2 months. And I'm like, they say, oh, you got good genes. Where no, let me tell you something. I was stressing in those two marriages. I was stressing trying to carry on a life that was not for me. I was stressed because I was trying to carry on a family that was not for me. That was not where God intended me to be. So sometimes well, not sometimes, all the time, he's going to pull you out. You don't understand what he's doing at the time. God removed me out of what I was going through so that I could get to a better life. And I always tell people that everything the devil took to hurt me, God turned that thing around to bless me. See, I'm a blessing to a lot of women because I have a child of special needs. I can tell you how you can deal with that. Do you think that was easy? No. Do you think it was easy sitting up in a doctor's office, they calling off and telling you different things your child will never speak? Your child will never walk correctly. Your child will never do this. She will never go to the bathroom. She would never do this, and she would never do that. Yes, guys, I have a lot to speak on. But when they told me that, I had a praying mama that said, no, sir, God is in this plan. What that devil beat me the whole time I carried her them 9 months, but it was all right. Because what the devil took to hurt me, God turned that thing around to bless me. And I am a blessed person because of that. And I just believe that. And like I was saying, when they told me all this stuff, and I'm going to do a talk on that, what my daughter would never do. My daughter is 31 years old. The only thing she can't do is read and write. She's functioned, she walks, she talks, she takes care of herself, and she has a cycle and all that. So whatever the devil thought he did to hurt me, God just spent that thing around to bless me. And that's why I'm not mad with nobody, because I know what God has done for me. You know what I mean? I know how he's helped me. I know how he brought me out of situations. I could have been, if I would have stayed, like people said, if I would have stayed in that marriage, I would be a statistic. I wouldn't be here with you guys today. I would be in a coffin. So I don't look like what I've been through. Because when a man takes you and puts you in, didn't know from Pennsylvania that well. So when he took you out and the snow was this high, and he put you and a brand new baby out in the snow and left you and your daughters, and you got to figure out where to go, I know there's a God. I know what he done for me. And that's why I tell everyone, just trust him. But like I said, trusting, and once again, back to the trust, because if you don't trust God, you can't get nowhere anyhow. But trusting him was the help I needed to make me who I am today. Trusting and believing and starting into another relationship after trauma. It's a lot of women went through different types of trauma. May have been molested. They may have been verbally abused. They may have been abused by a parent, or they may have been abused by someone in their family. And in our community, we're taught to not say anything. But it's a lot of people out here that have been through some things. And I want to share what I have been through from the trauma to trusting and being more successful. That's what I want to do. And yes, Black Tropical, he's willing and able, because God is able. You know, we don't understand everything we go through and why we go through it. And guys, it took me a year to get on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, to get me a year to get on YouTube to start telling my story, because I have a lot of family members that were like, tell your story. Tell what you went through. Say how you did it, because I have a lot of family members that come to me and were asking me, how can I do this? You know what I mean? How can you raise this child like this? Or how can you go through after being abused? You have to forgive Forgiveness is the biggest thing for me. Forgiveness gave me the mindset to trust again. Had I not had trusted, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be blessed with the spouse I have. I wouldn't have anything that I have. I wouldn't have, it takes you to do. Yes, God's timing is the perfect timing. I wouldn't be where I am. And some days I have to look around my house and I cry because, yeah, I went through a lot, but God brought me out. And yeah, I have a lot to tell people before I leave here and explain to them. And women or men, if you're in an abusive relationship, there's ways to get out. You got to get out. You can't take that. You got to get out. And then you got to process trying to trust. But guess what, guys? Had I not had let go of that relationship, I wouldn't be where I am today. So when people tell me, oh, you shouldn't tell people, I've had people to tell me you shouldn't say let go. I say let go so that you can figure out what you're going to do to get yourself together. So you got to let go of some things in order to get some things together, regroup and figure out just what you are going to do. That's the thing people don't realize. Oh, you just say let go. Let it go. Holding on. How can God bless you with a you need an open hand in order to get blessings. And if I didn't have my hand open and I wasn't where God had aligned me to be, then I wouldn't be where I am now. And I know that God is blessing me. He always does. I tell people I'm just a blessed person because he blessed me with a good spouse. He blessed me with someone to help me raise my two boys that really needed a male figure in their life. They needed to see a man get up in the morning, go to work. And if he didn't go to work, he had to have a business or something like that. Because most people say we always teach our children to work, but that's what was inbred in me by my father. Work, 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 work. And now we have so many entities now that the young people really don't have to work as hard, but they can open up a business. They can do things differently. But for me, my dad was he worked on his job for years. And that's how that's just the person he was. He worked, then he retired. And after he retired, he got sick and passed. But he always taught us, all of his children, to work hard for what you want. You won't have anything if you don't work hard. He taught us the importance of, home ownership. You should try to own your own home, and that's some of the things he taught us. But some of the things I wasn't taught that I had to learn on my own. But like I said, trusting after being in the trauma takes time. And I don't know, because, our young people society is, they think that, you jump from one relationship to the next relationship. You got to process things. You got to sit back, take some time out and look at things. And you got to, look and smell the flowers. You got to sit. Like for me, walking in the morning, I walk about 2 to 3 miles every morning, walking, listening to the birds, looking at the clouds, feeling the rain. Yeah, and like you said, we went back to the traditional way of life. My husband worked and I'm a home. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't work. I don't work. I'm a homemaker. So I understand that part. But I'm going to explain something to you about that. A lot of times, a lot of people, women, think that just because you're home, you're not doing anything. My mom was a homemaker, and I didn't become a homemaker until I got the assistance and help. So I stayed home because my children were young when I came back, when I left their dad. They were young. So I stayed home. I worked a little bit, but I also stayed home because I wanted to be able to greet my children when they come home. So that's why that's how come I've been home. That's very important to me, and I'm glad that my spouse, when I got with him, it wasn't a problem. He wasn't worried about any of that, because when he came home from work, dinner was fixed, everything was done. But I'm going to do another talk about how sometimes people will put you down because you're a homemaker, like, oh, you're not doing anything. And I'm like, I have a whole house to clean. I have a whole dinner to make for him each day. He comes home to a full meal. We very seldom eat out. That's just my generation. We very seldom eat out. And we eat out now more probably than we ever have in our relationship. And it's like when we go to a restaurant or eat something, which we don't go to a lot of restaurants, we go out to eat, it's like, this really doesn't taste like. And he's the first one to say that, oh, this don't taste like what you made. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So being a homemaker and taking care of your kids is a lot. It's a job in itself. And making sure you do laundry. It's so many things you can do in your home. And the gardening piece was such a good part for me, watching Healthy G Mom and Black Tropical and all the other gardening people who are on here, seeing their gardens. It really gave me the interest in to get my garden started. And I got it started, and I go out there every day. And he even made me sprinkler guys where I don't have to stand out there and water, because I've got the water and I don't have a problem with that. I like just being out there. And sometimes I go outside and I believe in, everybody don't believe it, but I go on my side of my house and sometimes he's like, why you don't have on shoes? I guess I'm old school. I just like to feel the ground, feel the earth, and just enjoy. But I have to schedule to get our jobs done. Sitting on your will not get true, because you home, people think you're not doing nothing, they're just sitting down, but you're not. You're busy. I'm busy in my house every day. I'm doing something, I'm changing something around, I'm cleaning behind something, because you guys see my videos. I'm pulling out the refrigerator, I'm pulling out the stove, I'm done in the cabinets. It's cleaning out a closet, doing laundry, cleaning up a laundry room, and making sure everyone is taking care of their room. So being a and yes, it is peaceful. Being home is peaceful because you don't have all that going on. And my little sister who comes and does mental health Monday said that. She said, you are so blessed to be home, because it's so much going on in the world, and people and their personalities, and people who know everything and really don't know a lot. So I like the way I'm home and able to be at home and be with my family, and be just there when my spouse comes home. I like that. I like being able to slide that plate over there and hand him his food and stuff, have his drink ready. But I'm gonna do a talk about how some my younger people, they don't think I've heard people say to me that, oh, you just cater to, and I don't know where y'all get this word cater. I don't cater. I just love the fact that my husband goes out to work and allows me, I'm home. And I think that if he's out there working 8 hours, takes a 45-minute drive to work, 45-minute drive back home, that I should at least be able to have a dinner ready when he comes in. So that's just me. And then I like to eat healthy, we eat a lot of vegetables and, fruits and things of that nature. That's why I'm trying to grow things and grow my peppers. And so I don't have to go out and buy them. I use a lot of peppers and onions and stuff. I'm trying to grow this stuff so I don't have to, I want to be self-sufficient. Even though it's just on the side of the house, I'm still going to do it. And, he's like, every week, don't you seem like the garden getting bigger? I said, it's the same, but I keep adding a little more. And he said, I get so much joy watching my husband enjoy see, that's what I'm saying. And my sister, he's eating, he's like, I'm just sitting there laughing because he's enjoying the food. And I don't like the fact that some people try to make you feel bad because that's what you do. But I'm sorry. I love, making sure he has food. I love, the way he likes to eat and enjoy it. And I just love that. I think that's a blessing. Ella, it's the same. Okay, urban gardening is to help them on listen. Okay. Just like I was saying, that's what I like to do. If you don't like, like the younger girls of today, they might not want to do that, but that's the time I was brought up in, where you you cook, you have dinner ready. And because that's what my mom did for my dad, because my mom didn't work. So she would have dinner ready for my dad. That's just some of the things I do. I like to do. If you don't agree, I understand. I'm not knocking nobody for what they want to do, but I just know I like to do things that make me calm, happy, and stress-free. And one of the things is just making sure he has food, and my children too, making sure everybody has a healthy meal. That's very important to me. There's nothing wrong with catering to your spouse either. That's what I'm saying. Mine caters to me, and he makes sure that whatever I need, or not just so much as what I need, he makes sure I get most of everything I want. So I can't say anything, because when we go out and everything, he makes sure for me, that if there's things you want, and I have finances too that I can buy things, but I'm happy with my current situation. I don't have a problem with it. And I'm able also to be able to be home when my daughter comes home, that I can make sure she's okay. And my older kids, my boys are older, and I still cook for them, but not all the time, because if they're working, because my oldest boys, they work. Both of them have jobs, they have cars, things of that nature. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that, And I like just like I say, I like the way he likes the food and whatever. And what we're doing now as we get older, we're trying to make everyone, we're trying to stay happy and get closer in that relationship. So that's very important to me. And learning to trust and not and getting past the trauma. And for me, getting past that trauma was the hardest thing, trying to deal with all that and then being in a relationship where you're not being abused. So that will, when you get into a relationship and you've been abused, coming out of that, you and your husband. Oh yeah, that's what matters. We have an agreement. My spouse would rather see me home. Because I did work when when we bought the first home, I was working, but I was working two jobs. And he was like, what's going on? And then I had to go out and end up spending that same money I'm making to buy food, take home, hurry up and get it home in time for him to have dinner. So when I was in Revere, I stopped working. I was going through a lot on the job. I tried to, stay there, but I ended up leaving after the death of my father. And I left because of the death of my father because, let me explain to you what happened. I was working, I was I was a receptionist, but I knew the whole area, the school. I kind of ran the school being a receptionist, and I was a financial aid advisor. So when my dad took sick, we all went home. We all had to come home. We came to my mom's house, stayed in the house because they gave us the news that my dad was passing. So when they gave us the news he was passing, we went and literally spent the night to my mom's house. And we stayed at the house. Well, my mom and dad's home that we grew up in. We stayed at the house until my dad passed. And the crazy thing about it was my job was like, oh, it's time for you to come back to work. You've been off over your 3 days. And that day, we hadn't even had my funeral. My dad died. Then they wanted me to come right back to work because I had took 3 days off. So what I did was, they were stressing me to come back to work because they needed me. And so I didn't, I ended up because I had keys and everything. So what I did was I was like, this is kind of like a lot for me. So what I did was, it was too much at the time. It was too much at the time. So what I ended up doing was, going and I talked to my spouse, like, I can't do it. He was like, I can't believe they doing this to you. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy. So what I did was I didn't even talk to them anymore. They kept calling. You need to come back. You got to come back. You got to come back. Unless they're going to fire you or whatever. So what I did was I went in that morning, like 6 o'clock that morning. I put in a note that I was resigning on everyone's office door and my computer where I worked. And I said, I resign as of it's effective. And because they had stressed me when I was at the job, I was being stressed. So me being home was a good thing for me. So my dad passed, and my brother was sick at the time too. So it was a lot of stress, and our family was really stressed. We were taking care of my dad. We were going to see about my brother because he had leukemia, and so we had in the span of that time. My dad died 3 weeks. We buried my dad, and 3 weeks later, my brother died. So we had to bury him. So we lost two within 3 weeks. So that was a lot of stress. So my spouse was like, no, you can't do this. You can't go to work and do all this. It's crazy. So he was like, bye-bye, job. Goodbye. And I just let it go. And by me letting it go, it has been nothing but a blessing for me. Matter of fact, it's been better for me. I don't have that stress. I don't have to deal with people in their personality, people in their bad vibes, people with what they're going through. I just have time to be home in my house, keep my vibes calm. You know what I mean? And thank you, Healthy G Mom. Yeah, I lost two within 3 weeks. So it kind of messed with me a little bit, really bad. But I thank God that I had a spouse that was like, oh no, you're good. And then that way when when we did purchase the home and went in and did all the work before we moved in, I was able to be home and make sure everything was done to my house. Like we had tile, we had the bathrooms redone, we had a lot redone to the house. So yeah, Hello, Queen Faith. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. So yeah, so being home was not a problem for me. It was I was able to kind of oversee the home, everything that was being done in at home at the time. And ever since then, I've never looked back because I love being home. And it's not for everybody because some people are like, I'm going to go crazy being home. I have a lot I do. I DIY, I garden now again. I cook, I clean, but I love to do these things. That's the thing about me. I love what I do. And I think it's a blessing from God because my latter days were hard. Well, my first days were hard, but my latter days are easier. I have an easier life. I have a better life. And I don't, I tell people all the time, I don't look like what I've been through with me going through all the trauma. And that was trauma too, losing two people in 3 weeks for my kids. And I really, really had to be there because the loss of my dad was really hard on my kids because my dad was like the father figure to them. So we had to literally put my two kids and my sister's daughter, we had to put them all in counseling because it messed them up bad. It messed us up, but we had to do what was best for our children. And my sister up under me, her kids were older, so they kind of knew, you know, it's some wicked people out here looking for a way to steal. No one, you know what? Thank you, Black Tropical, because one thing about me, I'm a positive person. I won't let nobody steal my joy because I don't look like what I've been through, and I have gone through things, and I don't take it out on anyone, and I trust God for the process. And guess what? God is gonna fix everything that people think they've done to hurt me. Like I told you, I'm a blessed person. What the devil took to hurt me, God turned that thing around to be a blessing to me. So that's why I know what God can do for you. And the negativity doesn't bother me because I know it's people out here, they'll befriend you and say that you're friends, but they'll come up against what you believe. One thing about it, you can't take my belief and what I believe at all from me. I know what I've been through. I know how God protect. That's right. God is yes, Black Tropical Homestead. God is protecting us, and that's what I believe. But I thank you for telling me that so that I can be careful with the people that are trying to do things to hurt me, because I trust God and I know that God is a blessing to me, and He's always looking out for me. What I don't see, God sees, and when God tells me to move a certain way, I'm gonna move that way because He may be moving me out the way. He's moving me out the way for a reason so that He can fix the situation. A lot of situations are out of my hand, but I know there's a God that is doing it for me. And I know that He doesn't have me on this platform for just to be here. I'm here to tell a story. I'm here to reach out to someone that may be thinking that they got to stay in that relationship. I'm reaching out to someone who may have been traumatized, like I was traumatized. I'm reaching out to someone that may have a special needs child and don't know exactly what to do with them. I'm just that person, and I can encourage you. And I'm going to keep encouraging people and telling them about how blessed I am so that you can know that you're no different than me. The same blessings that I get, the same blessings God can bless you with. But make sure you're doing your affirmations. Make sure you're doing your, make sure you're putting up your vision boards. Make sure you're asking God. It's a lot of people be upset with what you have. As a lot of people be mad, with what you have, but they don't know what you went through to get what you have. See, people think if they look at me, because I don't really, show my house. I show different things about my house, but I don't show the whole thing because I have people that may feel like, oh, she thinks she's better. I'm no better than you. Whatever I have, you can have too. Whatever God gave me, He can give you too. Or He can, and guess what? God is such an awesome God. He can give you better than what I have. That's how awesome God is. He can give you more than I ever thought I have. Like for me now, I have more than I ever thought I would have. But you know what? It's because I trusted in Him. I believed in Him. And when I believed in Him, as I believed in Him, He sent me to where I needed to be. He's always lined me up with people. But when He's lining you up, you have to know and you have to trust. Back to the trust aspect. You got to trust. You got to be able to trust. If you don't trust, then you can't get nowhere. You got to trust God. And then if you're in a relationship and you're going through something, you got to trust God to know if I let go, what is He going to bless me with? Like I tell people all the time, use me as an example. Okay. I went through the abuse. I went through the special, having a child is different. I went through, all the dark places. But as I was going through the dark places, there was a light at the end of that darkness. But I had to reach for it, and it didn't happen overnight, and I had to work for it. Anything you want in life, you have to work for. James Franklin, 38. Thanks. Hello. Thanks for coming in. And I appreciate you. But anything you want, you really gotta work for it. It just people seem to think everything just drops in your lap. Things don't drop in your lap. You don't know, bye son, have a great day. You don't know what type of prayer life people have. You don't know, you don't know what they've been through to get to where they are. You don't know how many times they had to brush off and clean up and start all over again. You don't know that. You don't know my story. I can tell you bits and pieces of my story, but if you really knew, do you think you could go through what I went through and still come out on the other side? That's the thing. Can you take what I had to take to make it to where I am today? No, a lot of people can't do that because what? They don't want to trust God. And back to the trusting piece. You don't trust, what can you get? If you don't let go, you can't see the vision that God has for you. Same thing I tell my kids, let go to let God. He'll show you. You know what I mean? And I went through a lot with my children. I went through a lot with my daughter, my special needs daughter. I went through a lot. It was not easy, for someone to tell you, oh, she can't do this, she can't do that, she can't do this. And here it is, I have a child that's self-sufficient. She may not be able to read or write, but she knows. And when I send her somewhere, I always get great compliments because of the way she carries herself. And that was not easy. And just like I said, can you walk a mile in my shoes and go through what I went through? I don't know. Because some people right now, if they had went through half of what I went through, they may be done lost their mind. But I have a strong mind. I have a strong will. I was brought up by a strong woman who taught me one first thing, prayer, believe, trust, believe, and pray. But people want to think that what you have, you're showing off, or you think you're better than somebody. I don't think I'm better than nobody because, baby, if you know what I went through to get to where I am, I don't know if you could deal with it. 2 abusive marriages, 1 special need child, but God, you see, but God. And they don't know what you're going through in your home, what you may be going through. That's why I tell people all the time, I said, when people gossiping, you have to be careful because if they gossip about this, they're going to gossip about you. But my thing is the prayer piece. Pray. And I lose friends because I say, before you speak on somebody, pray for them because you don't know what they're going through. And then you have children in your home. You have a whole life that you got to try to keep it a certain, you want to keep your life calm. And because I have a lot of calmness in my home. Even with my kids, my children, real calm. And my granddaughter, she's on the spectrum, they say. So I brought her to live with me because my daughter, I don't know if she knew how to handle the situation at the time. So I just pulled back and brought my granddaughter with me. But she's on the spectrum. But since she's been here, they're mainstreaming my granddaughter out, which is, they're mainstreaming her out she goes now into a regular class. She's in a class with kids that are autistic. And next year, she's set to go into a regular 2nd grade. So when people tell me this or that, but God, you see what I mean? Had I not knew how to pray and pray over her, but God, you see what I mean? So next year, my granddaughter's mainstreaming out to a regular class, which she was told she was on the spectrum. Very smart. They're very smart kids. And you just have to be careful what you do around them. And that's why I had to warn my daughter. You can't bring everybody around children. Children pick up those spirits and things. So you got to be careful with that because people's spirits can lag onto you. People may not believe that. I'm a firm believer in that. I believe you keep your vibes and keep your stuff, and you keep it right with you. You keep your calmness and you keep your peace because everybody don't have that peace you have. And see, that's about one thing about me. I have a peace that passes all understanding. People understand I got peace because if you went through half of what I went through and you don't know what I went through, then you can't judge me and say I think I'm better because I don't think nothing like that. I'm a human being just like you are. I struggle with a lot of things and I struggle a lot with what I've been through. I struggled because of the beatings. I've struggled because of not knowing who I was. That's why when you see me smiling on a picture, I'm gonna put it up because you don't know what I went through. So the smile means everything to me. This smile means everything to me. And yes, I protect my peace at all costs. I'm gonna protect this peace. I'm gonna protect my peace in my home, and I'm gonna try to protect the peace for my children. And I be telling you, can't be around everybody. You gotta be careful. You gotta protect your peace and have that peace and trusting and believing in God. That's a lot of people don't do. They don't trust. I trust God. I believe God. And I'm not. I'm not against. Every. You have the ones talking about um, the answers and stuff like that. And my daughter is that type. But I just remember one thing, just to remember to pray. What happened?
That's so awesome.
Okay, you got to remember to pray, and I teach them that. Have my son going back for sorry y'all to have a prayer life, and you got to know, and you got to protect your peace at all costs. At all costs, you know what I mean? And you got to just remember to trust, because everybody has went through something in relationships. They may not tell you they have went through it, but they went through some things that weren't so comfortable. But I can say, in this relationship I'm in now, it's so much better. And sometimes we get into thinking that we're not good enough. But I know that I am more than enough to be who I am and to be with who I'm with. I struggled with that too after my high school relationship. I struggled with knowing who I was. I struggled with trying to figure out myself, trying to find my way. I struggled to know who I am. And so now I know who I am. I don't have a problem saying it, and I hold my head up proudly because I know what I am. I know what I stand for. I know what I believe in. I know who I am. So if you know that, sometimes people are going to kind of knock you to hurt you or do something to you. But guess what? Trust the process and trust God, because He is the only one that can answer, and know what to do for you. If anybody had any questions, let me know. If you want to know anything about me, I'm an open book. I don't have any issues with that, talking about what I've went through, what I've gone through. And yeah, I was a very shy person. And after going through all that, since I've been on YouTube, I'm better. Some days it takes me a lot to get back on because I only do the live on Fridays, but I have my other videos. So when you see me on those, if you haven't heard the song, please listen to it. It will bless you necessary. Oh, yes. I'm going to check it out. Okay. Thanks, Black Tropical Homestead, for letting me know that I'm going to check that out right after the live. Because what I do when I'm home like this and everyone's leaving, I try to keep my peace and stay quieted and grounded. I mind what I watch and, through the eye gates. So I mind what I watch and see. But, me being me, if people are offended with that, I'm sorry. I'm going to still be the best person that I can be. And we've all had a time in our life where we fell down, like, heard the mom say, we fall down, but we got to get back up. We fall down, but and my mom used to say that all the time. And I had a little sister, my little sister that does Mental Health Mondays. She was saying this song to me when I was younger. And she would tell me, you just an example of what I would like to be. And when you have sisters that look up to you and tell you, you're a blessing, and you talk to them. And, after my mom died, I had my cousins call me, and she was like, well, you got to carry it on. So now I'm considered, they laugh and make jokes, but now, guys, I'm the matriarch of the family. Everything has to pass through me. And it's kind of crazy because they call me about everything. So, and my youngest sister that does the Mental Health Mondays, she's like live down the street from me, about 15 minutes away. So, but when you fell down, yes, you have to, if you fall, you have to be able to, you say, definitely, I do not watch TV. I'm consume a lot on YouTube, but it's cooking. See, cooking, gardening, music, and anything peaceful. See, that's me when I'm cleaning up. I like to have on the music, but I use the old school music. I'm old school music. My sons be like, really, Mom, you like it? Yes, I like the old school, the music in my time. So I listen to that as I'm cleaning. Leave it there. I listen to that as I'm cleaning so that, it helps me keep me. I watch TV, but I don't watch a lot of the crazy stuff. No, I don't watch that stuff. I don't watch, I garden. And like you said, I'm gardening. And I like to shop, but I like to wonder shop too. But because I have to stop shopping so much because I have a lot of stuff in my house because I'm a bling person. So I have a lot of that. Yeah, yes, I gotta have my gold because they put me ready to move, stuff like that. But your notification. Okay, micro farmer. I'm sorry, your notification. You know what, guys? While we're here, that's another thing. I have people, I have everyone, when I go on your guys' channel, I make sure I click that notification bell, but I put it on for all the notifications. But it's some people, I am not getting their notifications. So I don't know what's going on with that, with the notification, but I'm not getting a lot of them. So what I have to do is, like you said, I have to go on YouTube and I just go and I start looking at, if I miss something of you guys, I go back and I make sure I watch what you have coming up. So that's what I always do. I go back and I watch, try to watch. And yeah, some people I'm getting the notifications for. A lot of them I'm not getting my notifications. So that really bothers me, because and I have to try to go in and get on live, and then I have to go back and see what's going on, and how, I mean, what's going on, and try to get on you guys' page like that. And yeah, I like the old school music. My son's pulling off. And yeah, I like being at home. I don't have a problem with that. I like baking, cooking, cleaning, anything that way. And like I was saying, shopping. I had to stop shopping because I'm a bling. I like blingy things. So as you can see in my house, when you see some of the videos, so I had to cut back because I was buying a little too much. So I put myself on a budget. So yeah, I had to do that because I was accumulating a lot of things, and so I started to give things away because I really don't like. I'm not against Goodwill. But I really don't like giving things to Goodwill, because I'd rather give it to someone who can use it, like, to a church or to a women's place where, for women and things of that nature. When I get through with my clothing, I like to take them to something like that, so you can be a help to someone else, and like a shelter or something like that. Because, there was a time when I was in a shelter, so I understand that part. But like I tell people, just, coming from trauma to trusting, it takes a lot. You got to do your work. You got to put in the time. You got to get the right type of help, because in our community, we don't like to get help, but we really need to get, some of us definitely need to get help. I'm not saying all of us, but I had to get help to get over some of the trauma, and I had to have someone to talk to. And then I had taken both my sons, because they saw their dad hit me for the one time. And when they saw their dad hit me, I put them in counseling for about 5 years. So I put them in counseling so that they know that you can't put your hand on a woman. That's one thing I definitely talk to my children, my boys about. You know what I mean? No, we don't do that here. And if you think you want to do that, you need to take you a nice walk, because they do have places for people that think that they should go ahead and put their hands on someone. But guys, I appreciate all you guys for coming out. I'm going to stay on a little, about 30 more minutes. But like I was saying, if you have any questions and, want to know anything about me, I'm an open book. I trust God for everything. I believe in God. I believe in all things family. I love family. My family is very important to me. I am the oldest I'm the oldest daughter in my family. And like I told you, I lost my oldest brother in 2016, and my dad. And I have an older brother that's a minister in West Virginia, in Virginia. So yes, so all I know is to trust God for whatever I'm going through, whatever situation, whatever is going on. And coming from the trauma to trust is hard. Put in your work, guys. You're going through something, pull back from it, and try to take some time out for self, because to me, self-care is the best care. So when you see me on Mondays and I have mental health Mondays is also about me having help with my mental health and helping others, because in our community, we may think we don't need help, but we do need help if we're having some issues. You don't have to get on medication, because a long time ago they told me I should put my daughter on meds, but I never put my daughter on any meds. You just may need to see a therapist and have someone to talk to, someone to confide in, someone to listen to you. It happens to me, the notifications don't. See, I thought it was just me. Yeah, the notifications don't come through. That was Crafty Leo. It happens to me too. Yeah, I don't like that, because I want to be able to reach out to everyone that's coming on and helping me and supporting me. And that's why I try to make sure I go back and support everyone too. And I'm going to go and check those notification bells again and try to see what's going on. But just making sure, guys, you guys are taking out time for yourself. Check, to do some self-care. Being on YouTube is a lot. When you're trying to get, like for me, I'm not monetized. So I was a little down in the dumps. But God, like I tell everyone, God is a good God. he sent someone in to try, to come in and help me. So I'm blessed. Not saying any names or anything like that, but I just want to say that, I was really down because each time I got up to a certain number, they always put mine back down. And I've lost quite a few bananas. But guess what? I'm still here. I'm still going, and I'm still, if you know, it's spoiled. I would be, I would be You spoiled. Oh yeah, mine's. He won't tell you I'm spoiled. My husband won't say I'm spoiled, but I know I'm spoiled because I was the candy cane pepper. I'll tell you guys about. I got a candy cane pepper. I was in the store. He was there making keys because he had misplaced some keys. And I had said, honey, I'm going to go down here and check out some plants because I'm really into the plants. I was like, honey, I'm going to go check out some plants. And he was like, oh, okay. I went down there, and then later I was looking at all the plants. And I went to him. I said, you think I could get this plant right here? We were in the Home Depot, and he was like, another plant. I was like, yeah, look, it's a candy cane pepper. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. I get it for you. I get it for you. And so, yeah. So it was like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, okay. So guys, I want to let you know, I have two big peppers on my candy cane peppers. They're growing fast, even though I don't have them in the ground. And yes, Healthy G Mom, I got some more grow bags. My son brought a package in, and that package is my new grow bags because I think I want to take I took all my peppers out and separated them, but that candy cane pepper, I want to put it in I guess I want to put it by itself because it's in with some other peppers. And I don't know if I should replant it Black Tropical Homestead. I don't know. You can tell me what I need. You probably can tell me something I need to do because I want to take it out because I want to kind of keep it back to itself. But hello, Moments with Cody. Hello, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you coming. And I was talking about from trauma to trusting. And good evening to you. I was talking about trauma to trusting and how I had been, into abusive relationships and how I had to learn how to trust and come out of those relationships in order that God will bless me with the person that I have now, which is definitely a blessing. My whole life literally changed, and it's a blessing when you let go of some things in order that you could be blessed. You don't know the way you're going to go in the blessing, but you just have to know that God has a plan for your life. If you come out of the craziness, because I always think about if I had never came out, where would I be? So that's why when I talk to women about abuse, and I tell them you have to come out, because if you don't come out, you may not make it out. And there's so many things happening now in our community, whereas a lot of women of color are being targeted and they're being killed. You know what I mean? Because we had just in the area in West Palm Beach, we had a woman who she was poor. They were really poor, and then she became successful. She started her own business, and she grew that business really well. And she was able to send her husband to I think he went to barber school or something like that. She sent him off to barber school. She became a millionaire literally with her business. And what happened was, I need to be your neighbor. Love. Okay, so she they became rich. They started living in a gated community. They really were doing good. And the husband he had a big policy on her. So what he did was he hired someone to kill his wife. So that's why I tell people you have to come out of some things. And it was so sad because he was on TV talking about it, like, oh, I want to know who did this. And, he said how his wife had did so much. She started business and she really helped the family and she was doing so much. It was so sad to know that he had something to do with her passing. So that's why I say people, I had someone come on to my channel one time and saying, well, why you can't tell people to come out. You have to come out. If you don't come out, you're stuck in there and you may never succeed. And in order to do that, you got to come out in order that you can get your mind together to figure out what you do to make yourself better. So in that way, you have to come out of that bad to come to the good. And also in coming to the good, know the blessings that God has in store for you. As you're coming out, God will bless you. And that's why the only thing I can share with people is I was blessed with coming out. of that relationship. And then I think hard part for me was after I came out and I gave myself time before I jumped into another relationship, even before I met my second husband. But I explained to him that I had went through abuse, and it was shocking to know that you tell someone what you went through and they turn around and do the same thing to you. So that's what happened with me. He knew that he knew I had been in an abusive relationship. He knew that I had a daughter that was special needs and was, part of it. And so he chose to want to abuse me too. But I always kind of knew he had a little anger issue. So once I found out about the anger issue part, and he hit me the one time I got out, because when he hit me but the tip of my nose. So after that I was like done, because I was like, I don't want to be in any more, relationships where I'm being hurt. You know what I mean? And then for me, if a man hits you in the face, that's a whole nother thing. If he hitting you in your face, he's trying to hurt you. Anytime that someone's hitting you here, that's very, it's very important. And then like here, I have a scar where my first husband, he was mad at me one day. He called me out, and back then the soldiers come in a glass, and I got hit here. So when they're hurting your face and stuff, that's not good. So thanks, Luscious. I'm just sharing my story so that if anyone's coming on and they hear or they passing by, so they'll know that you don't have to take that. And even if you're on that other side of it, that God has a plan for your life, and he will make your life better. And I'm living proof of that God has did nothing but bless me. Have I not had some issues? Yeah, you're gonna have that. And will I tell anyone me and my spouse relationship is perfect? No, I would never tell anyone that, because that would be a lie. Everyone is striving every day to do better. Hopefully everybody's striving every day to do better in their relationships, and that's important. But for me to say I'm perfect, no, we work 13 years in, we still learning each other. We still learning things about each other. We're still talk. The main thing is be a communicator. Sometimes you got to shut down, shut up, and listen to them, because if they want us, they're good enough to take care of us and make sure for us and our children. Because my, spouse came with a whole family made up. So if they're good enough to come in and be helpful to you with those children, you got to listen sometimes. You got to shut it down and listen. You know what I mean? Because I have no kids from my spouse, and he has been good to me than all the people that I had kids from. Not saying anything negative. I'm just saying what he's helped me raise my two sons and my daughter. And I had to learn to hush, back up, and start to listen, because I feel like my boys would be a lot different if I had to listen a little bit more. It says, wow, money can really make people do some crazy things. I don't know about money part. I don't know when you say money, but my life changed. I won't say because of money. My life changed because I wanted a better life. And I won't say it's because it's not the part with I was behind LOL. Oh, okay. I won't say it was I just think that some things changed in my life. And I just share how I was the person that was on food stamps. I was the person that received housing because, I had kids. And I won't say just money, because money doesn't solve anything. You know what I mean? Money doesn't solve anything. Money helps to make things better, but it's not, to me, my relationship isn't all about money. My relationship is more about having a positive relationship with my spouse. That's what's important to me. That it can change some things in your life. I'm not rich. I'm just an average person living a very average life. And I don't hate that. I'm glad I went through everything. I'm glad I was on the system. I'm glad I learned to be humble, because when God did bless me, I would know how to handle it, because too much is given, much is definitely required, because the more you're given, the more you're required to be a giver. So me saying that part, whatever you have to learn how to be a blessing to someone else. So, I don't know when you say the part about that, because I'm just blessed. I just thank God because He blessed me to come out of some situations. Anyone can come out of a situation and then get blessed, and that's a blessing. Whatever way God desires to bless you is the blessing in itself. And that's just the way I feel. I think He blessed. I think God blesses you in different ways and for different circumstances. And that's how He did for me. I went through so much till He allowed me to know when the blessings were coming and to be able to appreciate the blessings. Because a lot of people have things that they really don't appreciate God for it. If you're at home, no one's bragging because they're at home. It's just the situation presented itself that they were able to be at home. Some people have to work. I'm working hard to get my YouTube channel up. I'm working hard to be monetized. And anything that you do, anything that you want in life, you're gonna work hard for if that's really what you want. A lot of people, oh, okay. A lot of people they want everything just handed to them. And I feel like, forgive me, I feel like that's a generation today. They want everything fast, fast, fast. Whereas our generation, we didn't have anything fast. We had to work for everything we got. I started working at the age of 14. I had my first job at 14 and made sure that my sons started working at 14 and 15 because I wanted them to know the value of money, saving money, and doing the right thing with money. So I made sure they got jobs young age. And the reason why, which is a whole nother talk, is because their father was a working person. So that's why it says, yes, that's why I was a little tough on my sons. So my 21-year-old has been working ever since he was 14 years old. And my other one has been working ever since he was 15 years old. They both hold down full-time jobs. They both have to work. Do they give anything to the home? No. They have to save their money so that they are blessings. We are just careful not, but it's a must to share and bless. Right. You have to share and bless somebody else with the blessing. It's not that you have it and you just teeter-totter with it. I don't, I want to be a blessing to somebody else. I'm always looking out to be a blessing, and make sure that, I do the right thing with whatever God has blessed me with. This gift that I have to talk to people and tell people about what I went through is a gift from God, because I was a very shy, timid person. To come on here and talk about my life, it's easy now because I'm trying to help someone that has been through that. It's a lot of women out here that got kids that are deemed special needs, and some of them are not special needs. Some of them just want to have their way and do what they want to do. So, and I'm not knocking nobody how they raise their kids because I know the way I raise mine, and that's all I know. The way I'm going to raise them, the way I have mine, the way I raise mine, I was a little different. You know what I mean? And because I'm at home, I love being at home, but I'm also not sitting here at home being on YouTube every day, all day. I watch YouTube. I do Fridays where I come on, but I have other things I do. I have a whole household and a whole family to see about and take care of and make sure things are there for them. And but just like I said, it's a whole nother talk when I come on and begin to explain how, I raised them. I was raising them by myself when I met my spouse. And he came in and showed them what, unfortunately, he showed them what men do, and which was the only thing he knew to do was work hard, provide, be a provider. Because, you got these men now, they don't want to provide for a family. The younger ones want to get a woman that's on the system to take care of them. And so that's not what I want. I want my sons to be providers for their wives. I want them to be able to provide for them and to be the man in that family, not the person that put down a woman, but pull up a woman to be better with the women, and trusting God to be able to do that. And knowing that I put that foundation in them and knowing about God and how to treat someone, and them seeing what I went through to make them a better person, a better man. Because had they not have seen what I have went through, they would not understand. So I want my boys to continue to, see and understand that, hello, make the shiznit. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I really thank you for coming. Guys, I really appreciate everyone for coming out and just sitting with me and listening to me talk. And if you have any questions or you want anything, my topic today was from trauma to trusting. And two people I'm going to always trust, which is God, and trusting the process of learning to trust again. And it's a process, like I explained to everyone, it just doesn't happen overnight. And I'm an open book when it comes to what I have went through, because I want to bless someone else, that they will be able to see what I have went through and know that, hey, she went through that. God's got a blessing for me too. and I can be a guide to someone to tell them that if you're in your relationship and the person that you in that relationship, if he's trying to do the best he can, don't knock him down, give him some time and try to get it together. But if that's not what you want, you know what you want. We know what we want in life. But God, I say God has, I tell anyone, God has a sense of humor. And the reason why I say he has a sense of humor, because no matter what I went through in my past life, um, I can laugh about it. I can talk about it. I can share it. I can come through the moments better, and I can be a blessing to someone else. That I can help someone and tell them, seek God first, believe it, seek Him first, and He will give you all the answers. But you got to have that. I was putting my hair back, tell my sisters, you got to have a listening ear. If He's talking to you and telling you, He might be telling you, come out. And if He tells you that and shows you that you should come out, hey, you got to do. You can't be blessed and miss. That's just my say so. I can't be blessed if I'm in a mess. That's just what I believe, and I trust that is true. I know it's true because God don't bless mess. He's just not gonna bless anything. You know what I mean? So I thank God for that, and I thank all the gardening people for coming in and helping me and coming in and listening to me. You guys take some time out for yourself. Make sure you're loving on yourself. I kind of had to learn that as I'm older in life, to take care of myself, to love me. And when I put things up, it's because the song I really love the most is I'm loving on me. I have to love on me so that I can be a blessing to someone else. If I don't love on me and I don't love me, I don't love the person that I am, how can I talk to somebody else and tell them how to be? Can't do it. I can't do it. I got to love on me. And that's why sometimes you see me when I go mental health Mondays, I talk about mental health. Wednesdays, I'm always doing something to relax and wind down because I have to wind. It's the point I have to sit down, wind down, think a lot of things over, and so that I can make the right decisions in my life. And just sitting by the water sometimes calms me and allows me to hear nature and see what's going on around me and appreciate the blessings that God has gave me. Because a lot of times I think we don't appreciate what God has given us. We want a bigger and better car. We want a bigger and better home. We want a bigger and better this. We got to have the best out of this. We got to have the biggest, the best, the baddest. But like I tell people, whatever you're given, you know, for everything that you give, right, you're given. Too much is given, much is required. So that's a Bible verse. So what is given, much is required. So when you're given those things, you also require some things. So that's why I want to continue to be a blessing to everyone that comes to my life. Tell them about God. Tell them about my life. Tell them about what I went through. Tell them about how you can live a better life. You can have a better life. It's up to you, but you got to have that mental mind and say, I want better for me. I want better for my children. I want to be in a different environment. And that's the reason why I left the environment I was in, because I had boys that were younger and they were working and things of that nature, but the area was not such a good area for me to bring them up in. So I came to a better area, which was better for me and my kids. I didn't do the gated community because my spouse don't really like gated communities because he want to have this or that in his yard. And he said, I might want to paint my house this way or whatever. So we ended up in Port St. Lucie, which is a very up and coming area. And we are raising our kids. You know, I'm not raising them anymore because they're adults, but I'm showing them about life and what they can have in their life and how they can better their lives. And it's a little hard when you have the men, the boys and men piece in, because you're trying to help them and show them and talk to them about life. So that's the thing for me, you know, and I'm happy where I am. I have peace, more peace here, because when I was in Revere, there was a lot of stuff going on. I was near the corner, so it was a lot of stuff. The drive-by shootings, my sons, they were at the bus stop twice and they were shooting. So things of that, things like that. And I was like, no, I think I want to go a little further. I started looking in Port St. Lucie years before we moved, and I checked it out, and I have a peace here, and I have a peace that passes all understanding. And I don't have to worry about different things in different situations. I feel safe here. I am very safe. God brought me to a safe place where I don't have to worry about so many things and what my kids are getting into. They have their friends and things like that. But I like the type of friends they're keeping. The neighbors. I have very good neighbors, And I thank God for that. Been a really big blessing to me. And like I was saying, guys, take some time out for yourself. Take some time out to spend with your spouse also. If you have a spouse, take that time out. I'm learning still. I'm going to be 60, but I'm still learning to love me, learning how to take better care of me, learning to trust God in everything in every aspect of my life. That is what is so very important. Take time out for self love, self care. Do something that you want to do. Don't always get locked into doing things for others. And with me, I have to really learn that because I'm a caregiver. So we get wind up in being a mother, a wife, and if you have children still in the home, you have wrapped up with so many things you're trying to do. But remember to take some time out to love yourself, love on yourself. Do if you don't even want to do nothing but go get you a burger sometime, sit down and eat the burger and chill, enjoy yourself. Love on yourself. Love yourself because you can't help anyone if you don't love yourself. Love yourself. Love on yourself. Do something special for yourself. It's okay because you're always doing for others. So make sure you're doing something for yourself. If you're doing but take a nap, do something for yourself. Self love is very important to me because all my life I have loved so many people that really didn't even love me back. So I'm learning to love and love myself and do things that make me happy. Do things I want to do. If I don't want to do nothing but just go in the store and look around and just see, window shop, or if I just want to pull up to Popeyes and get one of those little meals, and I just sit in my car sometime and I just eat it and just think about this is really soothing. Do something that makes you feel calm and make you feel happy. Stop stressing. Do something that's making you not stressful. You know what I mean? Do something for yourself. And then if you have, if you're in a relationship, have a spouse, do something with your spouse. Just you two guys go out and do something together. And just continue to try to make, if that relationship is what you want, make yourselves happy. I'm learning that. I'm getting the thunderstorms coming through. But make yourselves happy. Be happy with who you are and what you're doing and making sure that you trust the process. Because when people say trust the process, it's a process in trusting and knowing what to do and to be led and guided to do what's best for you and continue to try to be a blessing because if you're a blessing, God will continue to bless you. And I try to be a blessing to everyone that I'm around. I'll try to keep positive vibes because I really don't want negativity. I don't do negativity. So if someone's coming on and saying something negative to me, they really don't realize it doesn't really bother me. I've been through the storms and I've came out. I've been through so much and God has really, really blessed me. And just like you say, Black Tropical Homestead, you're responsible for your own happiness. That's true. And some people will never learn that. You're responsible. You have to do things to make you happy. And I want to make sure everybody has a great weekend. Remember to take some time out for yourself. Self love is the best love. And I really appreciate every one of you coming on and being in the chat and giving me so much positivity. The positivity that you give me, guys, just help me know that I can keep going and I can keep on this journey that God has me on until He takes me away. But I just want to continue to be a blessing, continue to help someone, to continue to encourage someone, continue to wipe someone's tears away. I did a lot of crying when I was going through what I did, went through. But I know that as my tears dropped, God, He knew what to do for me. You have a quick question, Nina's journey? Go ahead. You have a quick question? You can ask me. Beautiful stream. So sister, we love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys were, I'm going through okay. I'm going through, okay. So this is Nina's journey. Um, Maybe you can reach out to me through Instagram. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook, but my Facebook is Karen Ransom. If you're going through something, I suggest that you just pray and seek. I'm going through a separation. I met a guy. Okay, so you're going through a separation and you met someone. Sounds great. Just take your time in the relationship. We're here for you. And like I said, reach out to me. I'm Karen Ransom on Facebook. I think I'm under Lynn's Life underscore lessons on IG if you want someone to talk to. And he seems perfect. I'm confused. Okay, you're gonna have that because you're gonna be confused because of the past what you have went through. So the thing of it is you have to make sure that before you go deeply into that relationship that this is something you want to do, and you got to make sure that you don't carry what you went through and take it out on the next person. So that's the thing. But make sure you're praying, seeking God's face, because He'll tell you and He'll lead you and guide you. And one thing about women, we have an intuition. And that intuition, I just believe, has to do with God telling us some things, and we have to be open to listen to what He has to say. And just take your time, right? That's what I'm scared of. Yeah, because we're human. You know what I mean? Definitely take your time, please, and pray. Take your time and pray because don't jump into anything. You understand? Because sometimes we carry that baggage over, and you don't want to carry that baggage over to another relationship. Just pray and ask God, if this for me, and take some time out, and He'll show you. Trust me, I know, because that's the way I pray. And I'll share that with you guys how I knew that the spouse I'm with was the person for me. So, you haven't healed, like Black Prophet said, if you haven't healed from a past difficulty to move, it's difficult to move on. It's very hard to move on. You know what I mean? It's very hard to move on if you're not, because I just tell people it's not good to jump from relationship to relationship. Take your time. I'm not saying just let it go, but take your time. Pray. Pray about it. Ask God to help you with it. He will send you signs. Because for me, when I was praying for our spouse, or the person I'm with, I prayed and God showed me one day we were sitting at the table with my kids, and God showed me, boom. It just happened so quick. It was like, I want to know, I want to make sure, I want to do this and I want to do that. So you just take your time at Nina's journey. We love you, and we will be, just like Black Prophet was saying, we love you. We're going to be praying for you. And I'm definitely going to be praying for you that you allow God, you seek God's face first, and He'll give you all the answers. But you got to keep that listening ear and pay attention. You got to pay attention because you don't want to get hurt again. You want to make sure this is what God has for you. And that's what I'm just saying, just stay in prayer, stay prayed up. And I'll continue to pray with you and for you, that God shows you what you need to see in order to make the right decision, because no one wants to make the wrong decision over and over. And I did it. You know what I mean? So yeah. And just like Luscious saying, it's okay to be scared. We all were scared. And if someone's saying they weren't, I don't know, they're different than me, because I was scared. I was scared getting into another relationship. I just didn't want what I had went through to phase me. And my kids had saw so much. So I just wanted to kind of take my time. So I gave myself time. But I'm not telling you to do what I did. I'm just explaining to you what I did. So I had to take some time to figure out some things and to love on myself. Okay, and just like my Renaissance grandma saying, don't confuse your feelings over gut feelings. True. So, and Luscious says, I was scared when I met see my channel? I love it. Yes. What are you afraid of? We all made mistakes. Yeah, we all made mistakes. And look at me. I made a mistake. My oldest daughter, dad, we had issues. My first husband, the abuse, trauma. Second husband, trauma. So we all make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're striving for perfection, but I don't know anyone that's got there yet. And I won't tell you I got there. And just like she's saying, because I was much older, and as you get older, you learn. And that's with me, with my relationship. I've been 13 years, but I'm finna turn 60. So yeah, I understand what she's saying. Before, it's hard, but guess what? You can do it. And when you're much older, it helps you to see things a little differently and know what you want, and just be protective of, if you have children or anything like that. Just be cautious when you start to meet people and bring them into your life with your kids too. And that's another story I'll be telling you guys all about too. So I thank you all. I really, yes, I thank God for the community I'm in, because all these beautiful women and men come in, and all the women come in and give you advice. That's why I'm not ashamed to tell people what I went through. So guys, I'm gonna get off in a little. I got like 1 more minute, but we're gonna pray for her, that God allows her to know exactly what she needs to know, and guide her in this relationship, so that she'll know what to do, and how to go about it. And we're gonna, keep you in prayer. I'm definitely gonna keep you in prayer. And like I said, if you want to reach out, I'm Karen Ransom on Facebook. And you probably can see my picture up, but I'm Karen Ransom on Facebook. Or if you want to see me on Instagram and ask any questions, I'm at Lynn's Life _ lessons. And I'll reach out to you and tell you anything you might want to know. You know what I mean? It says, I have court next week with my husband. I'm scared. Okay, don't be scared. You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. I just know that you're going to be okay. I have a restraining. I had to have a restraining order against mine. I'm not done. Okay, yeah. My boy's dad, after he abused me, I went and got a restraining order, because remember I told you, he took my nose. So I had to have a restraining order, and I was scared too. But it's good you get a new restraining order. Just be careful and be mindful of where you're going, so that no one does anything to you. Just keep your, just we're gonna pray for you. You're going to be on a beautiful. You're going to be on beautiful. You're going to be fine. Just stay positive, and don't have no negative vibes around you, and just go and get your restraining order, because if that's necessary, that's what you need to do. I had to have one too. So yes, it's okay. And like I told you, you can reach out to me, and my email. Let me give you my email address. It's Karen's with an S, Loving Care Inc. at yahoo.com. You can reach me there too. If you want to talk to me, that way I can reach out and talk to you about some things. But you're going to be fine. Just stay positive. I just feel positive in this. So stay positive. I did that was the only way I can get them out. Because he completely changed the locks to it. Yes. That was the only way I could get my mine's out the house too, because I had to have that restraining order. And then on top of that, when I called the police that day to get him out the house, he didn't want to leave. And but he had abused me in front of the kid. He had choked me in front of my son. So when he did that, it was a done deal. So I had to have the same thing. So I went through that too. Oh yeah, I've been through all that. I've been through all that. It's getting dark here, but I've been through all that, so I understand. Like I said, you're gonna reach out to me in my email, and then once you do that, you can I'll give you my phone number. You can call me. It's no problem. I understand what you're going through, and that's why I know, God put me here for a reason, to help someone. And if I can do anything to help you, I definitely will do what I can, okay? And you have Luscious Journey on too, and she's talking. We have Healthy G Mom, and we also have Black Tropical Homestead. So we all, we know what life is all about. And I just want to be a help to you, okay? So you're gonna be okay, okay? So I'm gonna get off. A for Shells. Thanks for sharing. Anytime, guys. And I'll be back next Friday, same time. And I don't know what I'm gonna be talking about, but I'm gonna keep on encouraging you guys. Keep on telling you to love on yourself. Keep on telling you to love yourself. Keep on telling you to love on your children. And if you're going through something, be strong. God's got you. Trust Him. Because trauma, coming from that trauma, just keep trusting God, and He will continue to bless you, and He'll guide you. Okay, guys? Everybody have a blessed weekend. We're going to be praying for you. Please reach out to one of us. Like I said, let me tell you my email again. It's Karen, Karens, loving, Loving, care, Care, Inc. at yahoo.com. You can reach out. I'll call. text you or either I'll call you. Just know that you're in my prayers, and I will be looking out for an email from you. Okay, I got my phone here. I'll be looking out for an email from you. Okay, we got you. We're gonna keep you in prayer. Remember, like Black Tropical is saying, Nina's journey. Remember, God loves you, and He's in control. And she's saying that just right. God has the last say so. And just know that when you go there, hold your head up. Don't hold your head down. Hold your head up. Trust God. Go pray it up. Pray before you go. Pray while you're in there. Okay. And if you need me, I just gave the email address. Email me, and I'll definitely give you my phone number so you can call me and we can talk, and I can be a support system for you. You're going to be fine. God got you. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you for all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys be blessed and have a blessed weekend. And of course, Nina's journey, I'll be looking out for that email. Okay. Love you guys. Have a blessed one. And I definitely will see you in the next video. And I appreciate all you guys for coming. You guys are definitely a blessing to me. And thank you. Thank you, Healthy G Mom, for coming on and being that moderator in the beginning. Okay. Blessed weekend, everyone. And Nina's journey, please reach out to one of us. Reach out to me. And I'll do anything in my power to help you. Okay, baby? Love you guys. You guys have a blessed one. Be blessed today, okay? God's in control, and He has the last say so. Amen.